Let's double check. Let's make sure that we're live on all the platforms. Let's see. We have, if you're in the chat, no, say hey. Perfect. Looks like we're live. Cool. Bilal. Oh, here he is. There we go. Perfect.
Sorry, did we start already?
Yeah, we're live. We're live. All good. All good. We got a few people
I
watching so
messed up my
far.
timing here.
Oh, no worries. Oh, I just went live. Cool. And then, oh, it's saying that it says that maybe you have a Riverside open in another tab. I think if we close that off, just give me a warning here. Perfect. Hey, Steven. How's it going? Good to see you. From Chicago. Nice. Maybe you're enjoying your lunch and watching the Weekly Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're here and joining for the first time, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. My name is Pearson. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Jellypod, and this is Bilal. Bilal, you want to say hi?
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, today, I mean, it's a big day for you. You're you're flying, right?
I know, yeah. Ugh, flying.
How's the
You
yeah.
gotta invent, maybe, once Jellypod hitches a number, let's just pivot into teleportation or something, something easier than podcasting. So,
Oh, 100%. It was funny. Yesterday, I tweeted something about like I strongly believe like as long as there's inefficiencies in the world, there's like room for entrepreneurs, and flight. Like you're just sitting on a plane for however many hours without Wi-Fi, or maybe now there's some Wi-Fi that's decent, but it's like wow, that sucks.
I
You just
know,
sit there
yeah.
in a tiny little seat.
Yeah. When I
Um,
was younger, and even still, like I used to, you watch those space movies, and then astronauts are going to cryogenic sleep or whatever. And I'm
yeah,
like, I would think, why can't we do that for like 6 hour flights? Like,
totally.
why does it have to be like a multi-year journey? I would love, I mean, I would be happy going under, for like 12 hours or whatever, and
Just go to
wake.
the doctors and get a prescription for some Xanax.
Yeah. No, I was like, I actually envisioned this in my head. Instead of seats, basically have pods. So, it's like you just recline and you just go in,
Right,
whatever.
right. No,
That would
totally.
be
It's
nice.
really interesting, actually. I think we might have talked about this before, but we definitely talked about this before. But the whole reason why back in the 50s and 60s, like the cryogenics was such a big like theme across sci-fi, was because they actually thought it was possible to do, because the microwave was invented to like reanimate frozen hamsters, or it was
Right.
like, and it was like that's a whole crazy thing, and they thought they were going to be
Right.
able to freeze people and reanimate them, and pretty wild.
Yeah. No, it was a crazy time, the car. I got really interested in that movie. So I was like digging deep, and it was fascinating. It's come a long way, but the people who first did it, they got kind of screwed over. Like basically it was such a basic thing. I don't know why they didn't figure it out, but water expands when it becomes ice. So what they did was they used to just freeze like the people who were like preserved first, but they didn't dehydrate them. So basically, when it became ice, their cells just burst, and basically the cellular damage was too much. So they, because the whole shtick was like, oh, once the science catches up, I'm gonna reanimate you and bring you life. And so now what they do is they use nitrogen or whatever and make sure there's no water inside your body. There's I think Alcor is the big one, whatever, the
Interesting.
cryogenically preserved company. But yeah, the first people in the 60s, 70s, they got screwed over a couple of times. First, because of the scientific thing. And the second time, the company went bankrupt and there was no charter in there to see what would happen. So they switched off the electricity of the people who were like on ice. So they all died. And now they have some legal protection. Like if the company goes under, you can't just switch off, the.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so I don't know. It's a fascinating question. I wonder what do you guys think in the chat? Would you ever, if given the choice, to preserve yourself, for in the future, to come back to life potentially, Or
That'd
something
be
similar?
that'd be Wild. I know we're so off topic, off
Yeah, I know.
podcasting, but this is kind of, if it's your first time today. I mean, the weekly Wednesdays is our time for us to show our faces to all of our users, anyone that wants to hop on, for you all to ask questions about Jellypod, get some like tips and tricks, like behind the scenes insights about Jellypod from the team. And then sometimes we just go on a rant about like talking about random stuff about cryogenics and freezing. And
Yeah,
previously we talked about like all this other stuff. And we just wanted this to be a time for us to have
yeah,
Bilal
yeah,
and I to have a conversation, and also just share that conversation with you all. And please jump in, ask questions in the chat. Don't be afraid. Mohammed, I see you. Thanks
yeah.
for always being here. Mohammed's been here
Yeah,
probably
Mohammed.
longer than most
Mohammed.
people. So
Harvey, how's it going? Canada. Nice.
Harvey and
Usui, nice to meet you. I guess Usui is a
Usi.
no on the cryogenics. It's like
Yes,
there's
Usi.
actually I always forget. There's two. There's cryogenics and there's cryo. So one is more legit than the other. One is the art of preserving you for a future reanimation. The other is just the art of freezing or whatever. There's a very interesting article by Wait But Why. If you've never, he's this blogger. He writes these huge posts, and one of my favorite is he actually went does a like it's like a 30-minute long article about cryogenics and stuff. Very fascinating. He basically goes down and explores everything you need to know about it. So recommend.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know how you manage this, but like, I need to find a better, like, just give me the best read it later app, because like Lenny posted all these like posted like seven um, articles about like product development yesterday, and I was just like, I
Wait,
have to
who's
read
this?
these. Like Lenny from like Lenny's podcast,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, these are great articles, but like, I don't know. I still like sometimes I text myself something, sometimes I Slack myself things, and I want to create a podcast from some of them, and I still don't know the best place to store all those links
Yeah,
that
well,
I'll
this is
have to
why
read
we
it
have
later.
podcasts, right? So you can like
True.
quickly get the gist of what's in an article.
Wow, look at all these people from San Francisco. Natasha, hey, Natasha, I'm in
Hello,
San Francisco
hello.
too. Um,
Hey, Franny, what's up?
And Franny, hey Franny, it's great to see you. Great to see everybody here. Yeah, so quick update, and oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Jellypod has an in-person meet and greet. Oh, that'd be awesome. I mean, yeah, for sure. That'd be really fun to like kind of get everybody together, do like an in-person like happy
Yeah, yeah,
hour, talking about creative podcasts and stuff. But I know everybody's all over the world, so
right.
we'll
Well,
live stream it too,
we're
maybe.
gonna be an SF company. I mean, we already are half SF persons there, and I'll move
Yeah.
soon, so we'll definitely have some meet and greets. That'll be fun.
Totally. It'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I usually we send out this email to all of our users to come to the weekly Wednesday about 30 minutes before. I had a little hiccup. Got sent out 15 minutes before. I went to go send it at 9:30 Pacific time, and it like got like queued and just got like logged and just didn't actually get sent. I was like, oh,
Oh,
of course it, because I just moved all of the system from like the
oh yeah.
blog, from like how we were doing it to the
Did you
blog.
use Sanity? Did it work?
Yeah,
Like,
it worked.
nice,
The
nice,
first the
nice.
first
Okay.
thing was a little like issue with resend when we sent out the post, but hopefully you guys all liked the email. We built like the system so like we could write the blog post for the weekly Wednesday. So everything you see in that email actually is all on our blog at the same time. So it's like you have the blog, you have the email, it goes out to all of you, and it'll live on our website permanently. So like everything that we share about what happened this past week lives there. So it was actually pretty cool. It worked well. I was excited.
Yeah, no,
Um,
for sure. And we should have this now in the blog as well. So if you guys, want to check out our blog where, we revamped it. We have, more categorization, and weekly Wednesdays are also part of it. So you can read
yeah.
the history of it.
There's a big push right now that we're trying to do. I mean, like we're trying to build this company, and like so making it great from the product feature side for all of you, and then it's also top of funnel growth things that we're trying to look into doing, and like improving the website, improving the blog, improving the content that we're posting on our YouTube, and all of our other social medias. If you guys don't follow us on like Instagram or Twitter, X, LinkedIn, TikTok. Some of them are more active than others. We're going to start like reactivating a lot of these over the coming weeks. Just like having some strategy here, and follow us. Like it would mean the world. Just to, like follow us on everything you can, and engage and follow us personally on LinkedIn, on X, on anything, and just try to build this community with all of you all. So
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
And then Franny has said, "Hey, like love the merch." So this is
Oh
on the
yeah.
backlog, trying to get like a store out there so we can give you guys like all some like free stickers and hats and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. Pearson's quite quite the designer. He has he knows all the cool tricks and building great logos and designs. And you even have a guy, right, for the shirt, so you can definitely
yeah, the shirt stuff is pretty easy. You can go to any print shop. I feel like I just did a print shop in LA when I was down there, and then probably there's a shop here, and then there's like the whole concept. If we do like a store, do we do drop shipping where it's like we don't actually have the inventory? Do we actually buy the inventory and like store it at my apartment? And I go to the store and like ship it every time, which is probably a pain. But I don't know. Um,
I mean, yeah, there's probably
oh,
tons of SF options too. I mean, every company and their grandmother has a merch. I feel like in SF.
totally, totally. And Steven, so like I know you're new on the call today, so thanks for joining again. So I'm just pulling this up here. Oh, sorry, I meant to keep that up a little bit longer. But so yeah, Notebook LM and the podcast feature. But I want an easy way to change the voices and have the podcast in different voices, and Jellypod could be an option. So exploring. Yeah, thanks. Um, yeah, definitely. It seems like that's like the core use case for people coming over from Notebook LM. The way I see Notebook LM versus Jellypod is like Notebook LM is a personalized like podcast like listening AI tool. Like, hey, you have a bunch of content, 50, 100 sources, and you kind of want to chat with those documents, you want to create a podcast from those documents, and you don't really need the control because you're not really distributing that. Maybe you are posting that to Spotify or whatever, but like, it doesn't really, the type of content you're creating in Notebook LM isn't the stuff where it's like mission critical. You're not distributing that to your employees. You're not, sharing this with your investors or your students if you're a professor. It, it, so Notebook LM is great for that. Like you don't care if there's maybe some slight inaccuracies. You don't need the customization. But Jellypod is kind of like, hey, you're a professor. You have your lecture notes and you throw them into Jellypod. You want to make sure that you have complete control over every single word to ensure that your students are getting accurate information that's pronounced correctly, that you can distribute it to Spotify and YouTube and Apple Podcasts with one click. You can customize the hosts. They have memory over time. It has a website for you to share it with all your students or all your listeners and audience. So that's kind of like
Yeah,
the key
yeah.
differences.
Yeah, I would say like Pearson said, the focus is like Notebook LM is more like you're a consumer of that particular podcast versus here you're the publisher, and so we give
Right.
you stuff like customization, script editing, but even like small stuff like just hooking up to YouTube, Spotify, etc. You just publish and it just boom goes to all those channels. Everything's
Right.
automated, etc. And at Jellypod, really the power is it's a system. Once you have that system in place, it's just compounds. You can like schedule, you can like publish podcasts 2 to 3 times a week, etc. You can come up
Right.
with a content plan. We're going to add more stuff like research and etc. That will make it easier over time, but the idea is for you to just be focused on, okay, this is the content I want to put out there, and everything else around it, the scaffolding, the mechanism, the logistics of publishing, etc., is just abstracted away from you.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's super cool. I mean, it's exciting to build. I don't know what your thoughts are. It's like it makes me excited to get up in the mornings and like, oh, we're building this cool thing that people are using, and there's like so much room for improvement. And what's cool is like having these weekly Wednesdays with you all. It's like oftentimes you say things that we know. Like one, improve the naturalness of the hosts. We're working on it. Blal's been deep diving into like understanding how like the edits that you're making, like can we make those transcripts that we generate better? Like maybe they're too short, maybe they're not going into enough depth on the content. What are like on an aggregate level? Are everybody adding in like intros or outro blocks, or they're consistently making mistakes? Like those are the things that from a transcript side that we're working hard to improve. And then there's also like the audio side that is a little bit harder for us to immediately do, but we're very optimistic that relatively soon we're going to have like a completely game changing solution to make those conversations feel more natural, like add laughter. Somebody asked that yesterday in support. It was like, hey, like how can I make the laughter not sound forced? I'm like, oh, I want laughter too. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, hopefully
so
those things are coming soon, and our goal is always that we look back 3, 6 months, and be like, look at the jelly pod of, previously and be like, oh, that was so bad, we're like in
totally.
way better now. So,
Yeah, if you ever want to like see like a time capsule and go back in time and see what Jellypod was when we first launched, go to the YouTube, look like go back to like January or even when we were in beta back in like November. Um, like see, the interface just looks completely different. Everything's different. You couldn't edit the scripts. You couldn't like crazy. So
yeah.
the journey's been moving fast, but
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna explore different avenues too. We've talked about video before. We were just talking today about host pictures. Actually, curious in the chat, like if we give you a feature to upload an image of your host, would you do it like? Would they look like you? Would they be an animated character? Would they be just completely different? Would they be, maybe an inspiration from a famous celebrity, etc.? We're curious, like, how do you visualize your host? Because we want to make it, that especially once we get into video, we want to make that, your host come alive, literally. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah, let us know. Put that in the chat.
yeah. See, as
We
speaking
also
of features, though, this week I feel like you launched a couple of cool things. I was there, I'm blanking about. You added what was it?
QR codes.
Sorry.
There's QR codes.
Yes, yes. The sharing is cooler. Like, so you can share your episode with a QR code and a or your podcast, which is super cool. I think that was a very nice touch.
Yeah, it was minor. I mean, it was cool because so we had a customer story last week about Andrea, and we'll post that one soon. And she creates a podcast for her artwork. So she's a landscape photographer, and she would take photos. And next to the podcast, like she would share also next to the photograph, she would share like the podcast that goes into depth about like what she was feeling at the time, like the environment, and telling the story behind the photograph. And in real life, like in person type of events where you're actually like sharing something, or maybe you have a conference, you want a QR code on the screen to listen to your podcast. Like these are a use case where why do you have to go to another site and put your episode link in there and generate a
Right.
QR code? Like we'll just do it. Like here, when you click share, here's a QR code if you want it. So pretty easy.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like you before that even you added other like made it easier. You can if you just want to share the link to Twitter, LinkedIn, all social media, that's there too. I feel like it's a little hidden, but so hopefully people like utilize it more. But you can share your episode or your podcast very easily. And this is something like we realize that a lot of podcasts, they're actually shared more on social media versus just being listened to on the page or Spotify, etc. So as you're creating your content, do not sleep on sharing it on your social media handles and stuff. That's
Right.
where all the gold is. So and we're gonna make that better with hopefully maybe small, the ability to share smaller clips, not just the whole podcast, and
Right.
let you convert it, etc. All that good stuff. So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of I think alpha in sharing and resharing, past and current podcasts.
Totally, totally. And I mean, also to call this out, it's like, so on the top right hand corner, next to the generate audio button, next to the publish button, right there, there are two buttons that are really key in customizing your podcast. So if you don't know this, every episode has a video. It's like just a basic audiogram, and that's like by default. There's like a default template that we select for you. but on the top right hand corner, just click on the templates button. It should say like classic audiogram or karaoke or spotlight. Click on that button. It's kind of hidden, but you can completely change how your video looks. So it says like an image in the middle or image in the top left, captions, no captions, audio waveform. That just gives you some customization for like the style of your video content. So change it up if you haven't ever changed it. Like just figure out which one you like the best. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different options.
Definitely. And you're not limited to one. You can like download multiple. So you can do a
Right.
landscape one for, Twitter, Facebook, and then for TikTok or a mobile oriented platform, you can change the aspect ratio to get a mobile, video. And then maybe you want karaoke or spotlight, something more punchy. So you can like, people can get more engagement using those. So yeah, I always say, I feel like people think, oh, your episode, I did it and this is the way I did it, but it doesn't have to be one way. You can like really do it multiple times. So think of your podcast as something that's a river that you're like drawing from. You're really drawing from in different ways.
Right. No, totally. Yeah, it's super interesting. And like I see here, Noel, or I hope I pronounced your name right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for 4-person podcast last
Wow.
week. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. I'd
four
be
four
curious like what your
hosts.
hosts are and what they're talking about. Uh, Pearson was super
Totally.
excited about that photo when he rolled that out, and yeah, I was too. But I was also like very curious, like what does a 4-person podcast look like? Sounds very chaotic, which is like I guess what you want when it's 4 people talking.
Right.
But,
Totally. Totally. And another good comment, same by the same person here, Noel or Noel. I don't know. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but can we have some more directions for the voices? Like voices occasionally talk of each other with annoyed. Yeah, totally. This is kind of wraps up with this whole like voice improvements, naturalness stuff that'll be coming soon. So just know it's on the horizon. It's number one priority for us. Some things are kind of out of our control in some ways, but some things are like we're working around it, and it'll be it'll be here sooner than you know. And Steven, yeah, the Sesame team, they actually are based right here in San Francisco, like 20 minutes from me. And yeah, Maya, like Sesame, super conversational, awesome sounding. Like I remember I was blown away. Low latency too. Like you could have a conversation that is just great. So um, yeah, this is super cool.
yeah,
What else did we release this week? So we had QR codes, we had sharing to like LinkedIn and stuff. Um, there
there
was
was one other thing I remember.
what is
It
saying that in the
was
email?
what was it? Oh man,
Let me
it's on
double
the
check.
tip of my tongue, but
We did like a bunch of like reliability. Yeah, I guess it was kind of like reliability improvements, episode sharing, QR codes. The reliability stuff is like, um,
yeah. We have a updated nav, which if you guys, hopefully you like it. But there's more links and stuff, so you know,
yeah. So if you go to our homepage on the website, yeah, we've improved that. But yeah, the other side is like reliability improvements. And one thing I wanted to call out is like I see this significantly, like a lot of times. You upload a big PDF and it takes like 30, 60, 100 something seconds to upload, and it's just annoying. Like I on that new episode text box, you upload a PDF, like you just want it to go and you just want to like start creating. Like you don't want to have to wait like a minute, 2 minutes to analyze that thing.
mm,
So, a lot of the work that I'm working on right now is, improving that process. So kind of step one on that text box is like you give us your stuff. You give us the sources, you give us the links, you give us just give us everything that you have, and it'll like within like 5 seconds it'll like it'll store it, do a lightweight processing, and then we'll get you kicked off immediately into episode outline. So it's like that first page is going to be, we're going to get you out of that first page into the next page where you're actually like seeing your outline, being able to like see what's going on, what's happening, much quicker. So you're not having to wait like 2 minutes on this like new episode page and be like, why is it just spinning? Because I see that happen. Like I look at session replays and just somebody uploads a PDF and just
mm,
spinning. they're like, it's not uploading. What's going on? It's annoying. So
Yeah.
we're improving that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. I know you've had a beef with the PDF parsing in particular. Hopefully, we'll
Yeah.
get that better. But
Yeah, I think that'll be totally.
yeah,
Um, let's see
uh,
here. Oh, cool.
I was talking about
For
McIR
host.
Beach.
Yeah.
What's well,
Yeah, I
I've
don't know
not
what
heard
this
of
is.
McIR Beach breach, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Wait. Share in the chat if you. I don't know what
Yeah,
the
please
Mackay
share the
breach is.
link. I'm always interested.
And then we
Learning
also
more.
got, has there been use of Jellypod for audio dramas? Yes, totally. Fictional, like fantasy sort of content is a huge use. I don't know, Blake, if you're here. Moo the Motherland uh, makes a fictional series. It's really cool. There's a lot of other like really interesting fictional audio dramas that are made on the
Mm.
platform. There's some inspiration on Explore page. So if you go to Jellypod and you go to the nav bar and you click Explore podcasts, you can see like kind of what other people are creating, and they're filtered by categories. So if you need some inspiration, definitely check
Yeah,
the Explore
for
page
sure.
out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some interesting use cases. Obviously, you have you can do one single host that can narrate a drama, but you can have multiple hosts and have a basically a conversation and you give each character a voice, etc., which is super interesting. Something I feel like maybe we should do a better maybe job of kind of advertising that. Technically, what's the difference between an audiobook and a podcast? I mean, it's really
Yeah,
one, very little. I mean, podcast is, I guess, more of a specific format, but there's no reason for you to not be able to generate your own audio drama or audiobook using Jellypod technology. So you can like totally put in, a book form, as a script and make a, have a narrator narrate it. And maybe something we can like maybe do a better job of surfacing and maybe make it easy. Maybe something like Kindle to um, I don't know,
right.
podcast or something like that. But yeah, I know there's a lot of demand for that in just having good audio, audiobooks or audio dramas for
Totally.
text.
No, I agree. And what's interesting here, and something I just wanted to call out because we talked about this before. It's like audiobook. So what is an audiobook? An audiobook is like you literally have a book that was written for somebody to read. There are conversations in that book. You said like Susie said something and blah blah blah, and then there's all the other descriptive elements in writing a novel. But an audio drama is different, is because you don't have that like narrator necessarily, who's like, or you could, but like most of the times you might just like in a movie, you're kind of just seeing and hearing the conversations between
Ah,
characters, and it's slightly different because like this audiobook is like you have the narrator as well adding context, and audio drama is kind of maybe you don't have that narrator, maybe you do, but like you don't necessarily need to. And so yeah, it's interesting.
interesting. No, that's an interesting distinction. I didn't think about that, but you're right. And
Right.
to just kind of put a pin on it, but a lot of authors for audio dramas, audiobook, they definitely, there's something, I've noticed it too. If the author themselves use their own voice, there's something very personal about that. And so, that's something you can do. You can clone your voice and you can like narrate it. So if you have a book or a play or something you've written, you can like create this whole other format for it, using your own voice. It's pretty cool.
Right. Right. Oh, that's super interesting. So I guess the McHire breach was like McDonald's had a breach on their recruitment platform because it was protected by a password that was 1234556.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. That's an interesting podcast topic. I mean, I don't know if you're doing all like sort of cybersecurity content here, but and like breaches, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, they'll never get me. My password 654321. So yeah, yeah, mix it up.
Yeah. That's also our database password and
Yeah,
everything. So
yeah. Password. Um,
it's fascinating how that happens still.
Was it you remember that Silicon Valley search where the guy's like, "What's your password?" It's like password. It's like, wait, your password's password.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
and username is username.
Yeah, they would never guess it. It's
Yeah.
too easy. It's too easy. It's too smart. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I know we're about at 10:30, and I just want to make sure that everybody that if you're here the first time and you had a new question or maybe you're intimidated to throw it in the chat, you know, please either do that before we close up, or send us an email or message us on support. We're always there. Hopefully, I get to your messages within, hopefully within a few minutes. Sometimes I can't. It's just impossible to do it, and I'll get to you within like at least a day, but hopefully like with under an hour or so. So message us in support. It's the best way to get in contact, or on email. And we do this every week on Wednesday, so just know that like you could always come here, 10 a.m. Next week it'll be just me, but I'll still be here. We'll still be doing this, and I'll hopefully all of you come on with a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm not just we'll have a conversation between all this, so we can maybe go into some like. Maybe I could actually like share my screen and go into Jellypod and like make a podcast with you
I
all
know.
in person. So I'm not sure.
I know.
Figure it
I'll
out.
try to join if I can, but
Oh
I
no
feel
no
like you
no.
you can have fun, being going solo. Do just like a Pearson special.
It's going to be Pierce's special next week. But yeah, so if this is your first time joining, join us next time. Love to see these familiar faces like all of you, and thanks so much for putting putting comments and questions in the chat. And yeah, so we'll talk to you all next week and see you soon.
Yep. See you soon, guys. Bye.